Sharpen your gums with Vinny and Hessey. Yeah.
All right, what's up, y'all? We are back.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day. I'm Hessey. This is Vinny. And yeah, today's Mother's Day. It's pretty cool. Thanks to all the moms out there for putting up with us.
Definitely.
Thanks for our mom for keeping us alive.
Yes.
Yeah, and Mom, you're welcome because we gave you Mother's Day.
I don't know if she'll look at it like that, but
Well, who knows? Who knows? How'd your week go, dude?
Yeah, it was still pants. Still went with pants this week, dude. I didn't go shorts.
Really?
It
You
was getting
wishy-washy.
it was well, yeah. I mean, out in the elements, stuff like that. But regular week, just a regular week, just
Yeah.
working.
I still with shorts. We're pretty warm this week, actually. We're pretty warm this weekend. I think there's like a high of like 78 today or something. It's been
Nice.
pretty warm, but then it's like, I mean, it's Nevada weather, so we went to go get froyo for Mother's Day, and it was like earlier today coming out of church. It was all warm and sunny and stuff like that, and then we were heading to get froyo, which is like 20-minute drive from here, and
good.
it was just the storm. You could see a storm rolling in, and then like as we were leaving, kind of started to rain a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. It might be doing that right now, for all I know.
Oh, I definitely know it's raining and thundering here. So
Yeah, was it that way all day?
it was that way when I woke up this morning. It had just finished. It rained a little bit, but not too bad, and we had kind of a break. Went out and played some baseball at the elementary school with Dax. Got him a new bat and a new mitt yesterday after going and watching Cameron, our nephew, play for the high school state championship up in Provo.
They win.
Dax is like, they took second. They ended up taking second.
They lost.
Yeah, they did.
They
Lost. Yeah, they had to play. They basically played like a doubleheader. They had to play at 10, and then they were supposed to play at 12:30, but they didn't get done till almost 1. So then they gave them like an hour break or something like that, and then they played again.
Is that because they lost their first game?
No, they won their first game. I guess they lost on Friday.
Oh.
So they had to play at 10 on Saturday, and then if they won, then they had to play the team they lost twice. So it's a double elimination. So they would have had to beat Kanab 2. So total, they would have had to play 3 games yesterday, but they lost against Kanab in the first game. So Kanab took first, and South Severe took second. So, but yeah, we went to the 10 o'clock game and watched that. It was really good. South Severe came out and they were ahead 12-2, and all they had to do was try to get to the 5th inning. So they had a 10-run lead, and they would have just called the game. But San Juan came up and scored a couple, so they had to go all 7 innings, and then San Juan made a 6-score run, running inning. I don't know how you say it, but they almost caught up. There's 10-12, and then South Severe held them.
They blew a 10-point lead.
Well, yeah,
in baseball, that's pretty.
Yeah,
a 10-point lead is impressive to get.
Yeah, it was.
And then for San Juan to come back and take over, that's pretty nuts.
And they were playing on the BYU college field. It's all turf. The balls bounce. The field is a lot deeper. Some of those hits possibly would have been home runs in any high school field, but yeah, they were trying to crank them out there, and it was just I don't know, just strategy. I don't know baseball that much, so I can't sit there and say what I would have coached or anything like that. But
the thing is too,
they did good.
If there's no, I mean, everybody's playing on that same field. Everybody's dealing with the same.
They are, yeah.
Stuff, you know what I mean? So there's not just because South Severe couldn't hit home runs because the field was too long doesn't mean the other team's playing on the same length field.
I agree. Yeah. So yeah, it was. It was fun to watch him. Dax got way excited, and we got done, and he says, "Hey, can we go buy a bat?" And his mitt, he had a mitt from when he was like younger, so it was like a 3-year-old mitt. So we went and got him little bucket of balls of 8 balls and another 10-inch mitt, and then got him a bat. So today we went over to the field and I pitched him a few, hit him with the ball while we were trying to play catch, and
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be able to take a pitch in case you
yeah, it
gotta
was.
take one for the team and do a
I,
walk.
I kind of threw it
Extra
up like a
bases.
pop fly, and he had his glove out to catch it underhand, and it just smacked him right on the wrist. Just boom, he went down. So he rolled it out pretty good. He got up, walked it off. I told him, I says, just go around, pick up the balls, and shake it off. And then he went back to hitting, and we did pretty good. Then the
Right.
storm started rolling in, and we're like, yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
And we got home and started shaking the windows. It was thundering so bad. So
There you go. You guys, did you do sauna day on Friday?
we did sauna day on Friday. Yeah.
So, in case for the listeners out there, when on Fridays, at Vinny's CrossFit gym, a bunch of dudes get together.
It's the whole class.
Yeah, okay, a whole class
Dudes
of
and
dudes.
girls. There's girls.
Not in the same one.
Yeah, we get in the same sauna.
Oh, okay. Well, the way I thought you were telling me it was just a bunch of dudes in there.
The 1 week it was. We have 2 saunas. We have one in the men's room, one in the women's room. But the one in the women's, I think one of the, I don't know, what are they called? The burners or whatever under the rocks. Like it's one element.
Heating
One
element.
one of the heating elements I don't think is working. So it doesn't get nearly as hot. So if we only have 5 people in the class that day that want to do the sauna, then we can all get in the one and the men's because it gets hotter. But if we have more, then the girls go over there and complain that it's not hot enough and stuff like that.
Sneak them in the boys' room.
They'll just come over. Yeah, nobody's
Nice.
getting naked or anything. We did have a visitor come in on Friday. He's been here all week.
Wait, came
jumps
into
out of
the
hell.
sauna?
Yeah, he did.
Or
We
came
told
and
him
worked
about
out?
it on Tuesday, both. So on Tuesday, he was there. He's with the Forest Service. He rappels out of helicopters, and
So did he get naked?
it was a Speedo. It
Oh,
was very
yes, dude. Oh,
close.
my. I hope he sat right next to you.
He did. He actually
Yeah.
did.
Was you guys
sit
touching hairy cheeks or what?
There's no hair on this dude. No.
Oh, so it's just your hair touching him? Oh,
Well,
no.
we wear our clothes. I got my shirt, my short. I don't.
Oh, you were in there
I don't
with a
strip
shirt
down.
on?
Yeah, we just
Oh,
we
just
stay
let
with
her
our clothes on.
sweat it up. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's guys and girls in there, so we try not to make it as uncomfortable for each other as possible. But
Oh, I feel like sitting there with a no shirt is not. I mean, it's like
I've
being in
done
a
a no
pool.
shirt. I've done a
Yeah.
no shirt. It's not a big deal.
I mean,
but,
the Speedo thing's a little bit extreme. I
so-
freaking dig it, dude.
We
Just
all got
banana
in there.
hammock.
It was.
Oh, my.
We all got in there. And we're like, oh yeah, I think I think he's coming in or whatever. And he opens the door and comes in, and it's just right there. It's just boom. It was a very bright. It was a very bright Speedo. Nobody said nothing. I mean, it was just like,
that's just what
all
you
right.
wear, dude.
And that's
With
what
your
you wear.
sweat
I mean,
on.
yeah, he
It's
got
like
his sweat on
there's this
for a little
this
while.
movie. Remind me of this movie that he's all in there showering and he's singing away. He's by himself, and then like it's like they're like lifeguards.
Yeah, it's called Lifeguard. No,
no, I think it's
Baywatch. It's Baywatch.
So he comes. Oh, see if you're gonna guess it. She comes rolling up in there, and he's all what? And she's like, "Hey, I'm ordering food or whatever." And then he's like, "Oh, cool, right on." And he's just
I'll have
sitting
a
there, just
salad.
Yeah,
I'll take a salad.
He's naked. And she's like, "Oh yeah, it's co-ed, and we usually keep our suits on." And he's just like,
Yeah.
All right.
You want a foot long?
No doubt. But yeah, that's awesome. We gotta. So we picked the sauna up. That's I'm probably gonna hit up after the podcast. I think Tasha wants to go in there.
Did you get
I'll
turned
get
on?
My Speedo.
Ours takes an hour to warm up.
Yeah, no, it takes. I did it the last time. It takes less than that, but I don't want to have it on. I don't know if it'll make noise during this. So,
and you got the infrared. Cool. You got that infrared sauna.
It is an infrared. Yeah, it's got the like 2 on the back side where you sit, and then 1 like down underneath your leg, like on the back of your calves, I guess, where you'd be sitting on the bench.
Okay.
And then 2 in the walls in front of you.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah. And I mean, it heated up last weekend. I had it plugged in like just to see if it would work and do all that stuff, getting it fired up and, running its thing. And yeah, dude, it was like. Then I had to get it. I just got in there and was like kind of cleaning it up, doing all that stuff. And it was, I think at the time it was like 90 something degrees, and it was plenty warm, at least for
So
me.
have you used it yet?
No, I haven't used
So
it.
after this week, we're talking about. I want to ask you this question. I know there's a lot of people that talk about doing the sauna and the solar plunge, and you being the health nut that you are,
Is that solar plunge?
polar plunge.
Oh,
Did I say
okay.
solar plunge?
You said solar. I
Sorry.
think that'd be
So
hot.
sauna and the polar plunge.
Correct.
So everybody was like, a couple of the people were like, "Yeah, we should do that. It closes up your pores, and it's like you do the sauna, and then you do the polar plunge, and then it's supposed to do something with the pores and get rid of all the toxins in your body." I don't know all of it, but when I left the gym, I had one of the members call, and they're like, "Hey, what if everybody just brought a bag of ice? We get us a trough or something like that, and everybody that does it. So I mean, we'd have probably 5 to 7 bags of ice, and we just go and do the solar plunge or polar plunge right after. But I don't know what the benefits are.
I
So
don't.
I'm
I know
asking
they're.
you or the listeners if
Yeah,
there's any.
for sure we can get it. I know that it's good for you and like recovery and like the detoxing of your muscles and stuff like that. I don't know the science behind it. There is definitely proof in the pudding, I guess you could call it. And that is, I know that you're supposed to end on the cold.
End on the cold.
Yeah. So
But
if
if
you
it
do
closes your
hot,
pores, like if you're opening up your pores to get the toxins out of your body, and then you get in something cold and it closes everything up, how is that getting stuff out of your body? Is what
well,
I'm.
you've already flushed it out, and
Oh,
then
okay.
so you flushed it out, and then they say after like a sauna, you want to like go and shower instantly after to
Oh.
wash off, to wash the stuff
Oh.
off. So you could go and take a shower and then turn it to cold if you
Right.
didn't have like an ice bath or something,
Mm-hmm.
and you then washed off. Yeah, it kind of detoxes everything. But I know the cold plunge is supposed to be like super good for like recovery and stuff like that, like what it causes with the muscles. And there's a whole bunch of science behind it. Now, do I know it all? No.
Okay.
I mean, you could, and listeners, like if they're listening, like let me hear it.
Yeah. The
There's just
same.
this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's just tons. I just hear of tons of things. So what you're talking about, uh, like the ice bath.
Mm-hmm. Well, like they sent. I mean, we listened to a little. What is it? What's the Robbins? He's like does this. He's a speaker. Is it Tony Robbins? I'm
I
not
think
sure if
it's a
I'm mixing him
singer.
up. Well, there's. It's. I think it's Tony Robbins.
Huh.
He's a speaker, but he was saying that they've done in the last few years. They've gone with the sauna. If you do the sauna 4 days a week at 20 minutes a day, that it's
Yeah.
reduced. They've found out and researched and all that kind of stuff that it reduces heart attacks by like 50%, and then
Oh.
strokes it reduces it like 62%. And that was just the sauna part. And so I didn't know where like you said, the polar plunge helps with the muscles. I mean, I'm getting so old. The muscle things, I don't work them that hard. So it's like I got to work on my joints. Like I got to figure out
Yeah.
all
Well, it
my
does.
joint
So,
stuff.
like right here, I just looked this. So it says like just a little. Here's like a 10 thing that's overall benefits of ice bath.
Okay.
So like eases pain, lower sore muscles, faster recovery, helps with swelling. So that would be in your joints, healing
Okay.
muscle damage, limit inflammatory response, increase circulation, good for nervous system, production of endorphins, and better night's rest. That's just just a quick look up of them. It's just a few of the benefits of them.
Oh, good.
So the only thing is I know. So it's funny you said that. So Tasha and them went on Thursday and they do like Pilates and then they go do like a run or whatever training that is programmed for us.
Okay.
And then they went over and one of the ladies there has uh, she has like a legit thermal bath, right? And
Okay.
so those things, they're like $5,000.
So do they hold temperature cold or hot?
Cold.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've heard of
So
those.
it
Yeah.
does. It's an ice bath, but it's like regulated.
Right. You don't have to dump
So
ice and stuff in there.
yeah. So
Gotcha.
like when I did mine a few episodes ago, which was miserable, and I did not. It was terrible. Pretty sure because I was way under temperature. It's not saying you can't do it, but I think you would have to like almost condition yourself into it.
Right.
So if you guys
Gotcha.
are going to do a trough at your gym, I don't feel like it would be beneficial or you would ever want to do it again if
Right,
you
because we
just
can't start
dumped.
at like a 44
If
degrees
you
and
just
work our
dump
way down.
if you dump a bunch of bags of ice in there and you guys crawl into there, it's going to be miserable. Like it
Right.
hurts. Like
Like you won't be able to stay in for I think it's what?
3
Your goal is like
minutes
3
what
minutes,
they're
right?
saying. Yeah, it's torture. Like when I did it with the ice, I put 40 pounds of ice in my bathtub and crawled into it and thought I was going to die. So I could do for like 30 seconds maybe.
Right.
And then I had to get out. I was in my feet and my legs were so much pain. I mean, it worked. Like I wasn't so sore, but oh my, you could torture somebody. I'm pretty sure if you put them in something that cold, they'll tell you whatever they want to hear. You want to hear, truth, make up stuff. I don't know. They'll do whatever to get out of it. It was terrible. But so I think if you're going to do it, I think if you do a trough, just do like, if it's like a big one, like a big trough, like a horse trough type thing.
Right.
I think you could get away with like a couple bags, cold water and a couple bags. Because like when Tasha and them got into it, I think they said that thermal bath, the cold thermal, was like keeping it at like 50 degrees.
Right.
And that's cold.
And that's cold because what does the body temperature usually run? What do you usually your body temperature
98.
what? 90? Yeah, 98. So I mean you're almost 50 degrees
You're
colder than what
dropping
your
it.
body
Yeah.
is. So yeah.
And I think so like mine when I sat in that thing of ice, like or the
It was
tub,
33.
I was sitting on ice, having to like move my butt around. So I wasn't on ice cubes. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm pretty sure it was a little bit cooler. Tasha was giving me crap for it. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sure it was. Has to be colder." I'm like, "Listen, we're gonna do." Now that reminds me, we're gonna do like I'm gonna get a bucket, put ice in it, fill it up with water, and then we're gonna do a temperature check on it.
Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna tell her this is how cold ice water is. So this is how cold the tub was when I was in it. I can guarantee you it was probably 40 degrees or less.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure because it hurt like a mother.
It's probably under 40 for sure.
Even
how long did you let the ice sit there before you got in?
5-10 minutes. Well, 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's enough to cool the water off that was in there.
Yeah, and it didn't melt all the ice away.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And but Tasha was in 50
and then when they got
cold.
in it, they were like, like it takes you a second to get your wits about you and start breathing and stuff like that.
And that's not even being in a sauna at 120 degrees. So you've already,
that's not
when you're in a sauna, you're already bringing your body temperature up, I'd assume.
Yeah. Well, they were going to get in the hot tub because the lady had a hot tub, but she's like, "All right, well, this is how it works, though. If you get out of the cold bath and you get in a hot tub, you have to then go back to the cold bath because you want to finish on the cold." And they're like, "You can cover up the hot tub because we're not getting back in the cold bath." So they were over that one.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so that's kind of that one. That's how that
goes. Is awesome.
So, yeah, dude. So going past that part of it, I was thinking of. I had a question. Oatmeal. You like oatmeal nowadays? You eat oatmeal?
Yeah. Yep.
You still like?
I like oatmeal.
But I never liked it when I was a kid. Did you like it when you was a kid?
If it came in those little packs with all the fruits and flavors and preservatives in it.
I remember when we were younger, we used to have to get the big, like, straight up, like horse oats, dude.
Original oats,
yeah. So, but the funny thing is I was thinking like oatmeal. So as a kid, dude, I'm telling you, like I could eat a box of cereal as a kid. Like you bring out some cereal or the bag, because we used to get the bags. For you that don't know or aren't broke, when you're super poor, you go and buy these bags of cereal. They come in legit plastic bags, like them big chip bags, probably like that you get at Costco.
Wasn't it like the Malto meal? Meal brand?
Yeah,
I think it was
like some off brand, whatever it was.
I
But it
got
was
4
like,
of them in my
so you
cupboard
had
right now.
so you had like cocoa puffs or whatever, like was the actual, or fruity pebbles, but then you had like the bag
Dino
stuff was
Pebbles.
like
Yeah,
Dino
Dino
Pebbles or
Pebbles.
something, yeah. And so I just remember like I could eat 2 pounds of go through half a gallon of milk and 2 pounds of cereal, but
Right.
mom would whip up some oatmeal and put it on there, and I'd eat half a bowl of oatmeal and be like, "Oh, I'm so full. Oh, I can't eat anymore," which was totally bunk. But it's funny because now you do like now I'll do like oatmeal before competitions or something, or like a big workout, like a weekend if we're doing like people are coming down, we're gonna do like a session on a Saturday,
Right.
and so you
It's
do
sustainable.
oatmeal.
It
Yeah,
sustains you.
but
It
dude, it
completely
ain't
does.
the way we used to eat oatmeal is not good. I don't know if you still eat it that way. I mean, I don't. I had to stop, but I remember as a kid, it was like, "Oh, you want me to eat oatmeal? You got to put a scoop of butter in it. You got
Yes.
to put some syrup on it.
Or
You got to
sugar.
put some brown sugar in it,
Yeah.
and then you got to stir it around." Dude, I'm pretty sure that definitely made the oatmeal not healthy anymore.
No, it had just as much sugar in it as a bowl of cereal.
Dude, because probably more. And it
I
wasn't
s-
like we were getting the sugar-free syrup, and then that brown sugar. I
Do
mean,
they make sugar-free syrup? What?
oh yeah, yeah, we
Oh
have
man.
sugar-free syrup. It's pretty good.
Okay.
That's
I
definitely
believe
not
you.
the same, for
It's
sure. I
not.
mean, you can't. There's no matter what you talk. It'd be like having a zinger, sugar-free zinger.
Well, we got to let's invent that because we could sell those at CrossFit competitions. Because everybody wants a zinger, they just won't eat it because of the
uh,
sugar.
dude, yeah. Braxton says, "Man, them zingers sure do sound good."
Has he never had a zinger?
No, I don't think a lot of people. I don't even know. I gotta look next time I'm
No,
somewhere
but
to
he
see if they
did
got any.
comment on the donuts. He did comment on
Oh yeah,
being
he
on
said
Team
he.
Vinny. He's on
Yeah,
Team
he
Vinny for
is.
the
He'd
bag of
smash a
donuts.
bag. He said
I,
he was sickening that I would throw one of those donuts
yeah,
away.
I saw
I'm,
that.
I don't know, dude. Just
Throw a
calm down,
donut gem
bro.
away.
Calm down.
That's just blasphemy. Blasphemy.
I know. I thought I was sinning. Oh man. So if we're talking about food, let's hit up. I wrote on it about bacon. Good for everything or no?
Bacon?
Yeah.
Um,
You're a bacon
my
guy, not a
personal
bacon guy?
opinion, yes, I'll put
Let's hear
bacon.
about it.
Everything. You can put
Not
bacon
at
on
all.
burgers. You can put bacon in your salad. You can put bacon on your chicken. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
You can put bacon on your those little smokers. Wrap your little bake. Have you ever done that with the little smokies?
Oh,
Those
like the
little beef
little
smokies.
weenies,
Yeah,
beanie
the little
weenies.
smoke. Yeah, little beanie weenies. You wrap it with bacon. You stick a
Oh boy.
toothpick through it. Put them on a baking sheet with brown sugar.
Huh. Yeah.
But
No, I
yeah,
have
no
not have that. Sugar,
bacon,
huh? Brown sugar.
brown sugar,
Caramelizes on it or something.
caramelized it. Yeah, no,
Okay. Just add
it's
some more
fancy.
sugar.
That's your next
You
Super
top her
Bowl.
off with some
That's
zingers. Close her down with some zingers after that, people. Listen, if you
no,
want your heart to stop, you get some beanie weenies, you wrap it in bacon, and
not
you
beanie.
put some
Little Smokies, not the Vienna sausages. No,
no, isn't that they aren't the beanie weenies, the little the little smoky things you put in there like a crock pot and dump barbecue sauce on?
I think you and Mom are the only ones that call them beanie weenies,
Well, I mean, we're American.
and I'm the only one that calls those donuts donut gems. Everybody else just
Yeah.
calls them mini donuts, I think. Because
Yeah,
I asked a
or
lot of
yeah.
people after our last podcast
Dude,
if they
I
know what
ain't
a
never
donut
heard
jam
about
is.
it until you said it. So 40 plus years ain't never heard nothing like that.
I mean,
Well,
Hostess
either
wants to
way,
sponsor us some freaking donut gems. Let's go for
yeah.
it.
Come on, hostess. Shout out. Either way, you're taking those processed little whatever meat
Yeah.
could be, you're wrapping it in bacon and
Yeah.
you're putting brown sugar on it. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that sounds delicious. Bacon is good. I mean, you could
I can eat.
get some crispy bacon and throw it in some vanilla bean ice cream.
Yes.
I feel like that's like
Denny's
you
went
could,
through a whole thing a few years ago. They had their bacon milkshakes. They had like some bacon ice cream. Like they had like a whole little bacon thing they did
yeah,
for
I
a
feel
little
like
while
because they
at
could, you
Denny's.
do like the fried ice cream, and stuff like that.
I think
So
it's
you kind of
that
have that fried,
salty,
crispy, yeah,
sweet and salty.
yeah, like kind of like
Yeah.
salt caramel ice cream.
Yeah.
I
no,
think
I've
it would be
never.
good. I mean, I just always wondered bacon.
I don't know if eating that much bacon is that good. I mean, didn't that
I
guy
think
from
probably
City
not. Yeah.
Slickers die from eating bacon at every meal?
Old what was his name?
I don't remember his name.
Dang it! It's right on. I know it. I will have to keep going. It'll probably come to Curly.
Curly, there you
Curly
go.
got it.
Curly
Dude,
died
I haven't seen
from
that
eating
movie
bacon at every
forever.
meal.
Yeah. Well, they said that. They're like, of course he died. He eats bacon at every meal.
Right.
Oh, that's wild, dude.
But they make turkey bacon now, which is it's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, you just the original,
I
like
mean,
thick
it's
cut, original thick
yeah,
cut bacon.
course.
Oh man, makes you want to coom.
I mean, turkey bacon's the diet bacon. I mean, you got your diet soda, your diet bacons,
You might as well. Yeah,
sugar
diet
free.
bacon, sugar free. Oh yeah, for sure.
Your taste buds get used to it after a while, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's funny because, oh, so, dude, I saw this thing. It was so while we're talking about food, it just kind of made me think about it. So there's like this video of this dude, and he's laying there on like the couch or recliner,
Okay.
and he squirts ketchup in his belly button, and he's eating French fries out of it.
Oh my gosh,
So,
dude!
what do you think of that? Like
Can we
maybe he
clip
didn't.
that in our? Can we clip that in our
Dude.
YouTube video right here?
So
Can we?
maybe,
Oh
so maybe
man,
I don't know. Maybe he didn't have a dish to put it in.
it doesn't matter.
So,
Squirt it on each individual fry if you have to. You don't put it in your
what's
belly button.
gross? What is weird about that? Like
The
they put in
bacteria
ketchup?
inside your belly button.
I know. So when I saw, I thought I didn't think about like the ketchup in. I'm thinking, dude, how does that dude? How big's that guy's belly button?
There's that too.
Dude.
And what else is in there?
Dude,
What other crumbs?
You
what
think
other
you could put some
freaking lint?
ketchup in your belly button?
Probably.
Dude.
It's like a thimble. I could probably get a thimble size in there.
Oh, you
yeah.
should try it. So
I'm not
we're gonna send you some some homework, bro. So just like part the hair out of the way or something if you have to, or maybe
how about I
use
just
the
stick
hair.
my finger in there and I tell you how far it went, and then we can go from there.
How far
I got an innie. You got like a halfie. Don't you have a halfie?
I mean, yeah, I don't have much of a belly button. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's not an outie.
Well, that's
I mean,
because you don't look 9
in,
months
but it's
pregnant like I do.
True. So I don't know. We're gonna do that right now, live.
No, we're not going to do that right now.
You gotta stand up.
Hey,
up,
babe,
lift
bring me
your
some
chin.
ketchup.
No, first just see him finger it. First, just finger your belly, dude. So stand up,
No,
lift your chin up, and just start fingering your belly button. Let's see how far in it'll go.
We'll have no more listeners or viewers if we start doing that stuff.
If you probably pull it out, it'd be some lint or something.
If we can get
get
an email of some of our listeners doing it, I'll do it. But I'm not going to do it first.
All right,
I won't do it first.
So we got a challenge. We got us a challenge, guys. So
and just to let you
us,
know, check
you
us out on
to,
YouTube.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
So you can
there
get
we
that.
Go.
You can see. Woo! I don't know which way you are. Okay. So okay, hold on.
I threw the gauntlet down.
Dude, threw the gauntlet down. Okay, so listeners, this is a little challenge we got here. So the email is flappingyourgums@yahoo.com. And then you don't even have to be in it. You know what I mean? Some people probably don't want themselves like
no, just the
like,
belly.
All you gotta do is just show your like belly. If you can put here. Oh, so what are they doing? Are they doing a depth check?
It's
or are they
whatever
ketchup?
they want.
Yeah,
if they want to do ketchup or the depth check.
Depth check. Like because Vinny, I tried to get it. He was gonna finger bang his belly button for depth chart. Or if you're all for it, I don't know. But
if you send it in this week or whenever
ketchup.
it gets sent in, we'll do it on the next episode. I'll get the tape measure and we'll measure like the mark.
We'll do it. We'll see how deep. Yeah. That way, Vinny can clean the lint out of it or whatever else is hiding in there. All right,
wow.
Dude, that's a lot.
Wow,
dude. Well, that's cool. All right, we'll see what we get on there. Comment in. Let's get that rolling. That'd be pretty wild. Oh man, there's a lot there. There's a lot to unravel there.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I just thought that worked out. I like it. Oh, dude, I had so I was talking to somebody. What were we talking about? Oh, because they were talking about cable companies or whatever, TV stuff, and this kind of has nothing to do with belly buttons, but dude, when I used to work for this cable company,
Mm-hmm.
they, I mean, I guess it kind of is when we're talking about finger banging stuff, but your belly button for the depth. I'm talking for the depth. I don't know what you would call it. Finger depthing
That's
it.
fine. It's fine.
Finger depthing.
We've already moved on to the cable company. What are we doing?
Well,
still?
It's the same thing.
What are
so we had to go
here?
to it because this lady was like going on about her bill being like this huge amount. So she
Okay.
thought somebody was like stealing and like cutting into her stuff, which has nothing to do. You could go back then you could go take the cable out, hook it up to your own and get like basic cable, but you couldn't do anything with a box, you know what I mean? Because the box has to be coded and on their account. And so this lady was saying like how her bill was outrageous. It was like $700 something.
Okay.
And so me and another guy had to go over to it. Walker and I went over because they wanted two of us to be there, just because it was like a confrontational type thing or whatever.
All right.
So we had to go check the service and do all that stuff, and we're telling this lady, and so she gets her bill out. She's an old lady. I mean, like grandma old. Like grandma's old, like 70, probably mid 70s, I would say.
Gotcha.
And so she's like, I don't know why this, that. So she hands us this bill, and we're checking the box and looking at it. I start looking at this box, dude, and all of a sudden, like, I'm rifling down the list, and it's like all of a sudden it just gets into all. It has the normal charges or whatever it is and stuff, and then like the on demand just starts on demand. All these on demands, and they're porn. They're like adult movies.
Oh, nice.
That this is like big blue.
You're looking
like,
at this 70-year-old woman going,
This one's like big black booty hole, like 6 times. And I was like, oh, wow. And there was like other ones too. But like, and I'm just like, holy cow. And so, dude, this poor lady, I told Walker, I show him, I'm like, dude, check this out. And he's like, big black booty hose? I'm like, yeah, dude, this lady's been ordering porn. And he's like, no way. And I go, dude, I don't know.
It's so on the bill.
I asked this lady, I go, ma'am, these are adult films. And she's like, what? And I'm like, these are nudies, like these are porns. And she's like, oh my gosh, no, I am a Christian woman, bro. And I'm like, hey, look, I'm not saying like this is on your thing. She's like, I would never order those. I would never do such a thing. And I was just like, this is you, right? This is your bill, this, that, and the other. Dude, long story short, we start to like investigate, dude, some stuff. I'm like, was anybody staying with you or anything? Because I kind of start to see like stuff around that was like not older. Like there was like a sweatshirt, like it looks like you got it from like Hot Topic. You know what I mean? Like one of those kind of sweatshirts that like looks like a younger kid would be wearing.
Right.
And so I'm just like, well, did you have anybody here? And she's like, oh, my grandson and daughter were here. And I was like, got him. Busted. So then I was like, I'm not, I mean, I didn't
coming back?
But that was it. But then that's what it was too. We started looking at it and I was like, well, when did he leave? And she said the day or whatever. And I looked at the date, and the following day or two, there was no more orders. The next day,
right,
0 orders. I think what was happening is as Walker and I like got to checking out, we were talking about it. I think he would order it. And if there was like a noise or she came out or something, whatever would happen, he'd stop it. Because some of those ones were like 4 minutes apart, 6 minutes apart. You know what I mean? So he would like stop the video. And then instead of just going back in and resuming like you did a movie, he would just click it, order it again.
Oh,
so it would charge him again. And they're like 15 at the time. I don't know what they are now, but if they even do it anymore. But they were like $15 a pop. And this kid was just ordering them, and just beating that porpoise to death, dude.
So how did that turn out with the lady? What was she?
I don't remember how that all went. I think they
just left.
Like we called. Yeah, see you later. You dirty.
Good luck.
That kid just in there just beating that porpoise, dude. Just nonstop all night, dude. Just
Ugh.
beating her raw. But no, I think we eventually, like, we told them what happened, and I think they kind of worked with her on it for sure. But yeah, it was nuts. It was
Yeah,
just, that made me mad.
we had a situation that's similar, but it doesn't have anything to do with adult movies. Dax got his iPad, and when you set up like your kids' games or whatever on their iPad and stuff like that, and they get some birthday money or whatever like that, so they give you the money, and it's like, well, he wants to buy, I don't know, Roblox or V-Bucks for something and all this kind of stuff. Well, the iPad was set up with no, I guess it didn't have any like security, so it was just on the card. Like the card was hooked. And Emily gets this bill for $289 for all this. So she calls, I think it was iTunes. It was iTunes at the time. Whatever he was doing, he was just like, click, yep, I'm buying this. I'm buying, and this was a couple years ago, so he would have been like 7, you
Yeah.
know? So it was just like, oh yeah, I want that for this game, or I want this for that. And to him, it felt like, he had those little coins or whatever up in the top of the
Oh, yeah.
game. You gather up all your coins. So I think he's assuming he's just paying for that kind of stuff with those coins. And it was $287 worth of cash. When we called iTunes and we told them what was going on and stuff like that, and they were able to just take care of it. They just like, all right,
Yeah,
well.
that's just a drop in the. That's
So it
nothing
was,
to them.
so they were like, basically, they didn't set anything up, but it was kind of like, okay, so this is your one time get,
Yeah. Well, because
get
there
out
is
of jail
there
free
is a
card.
thing. Yeah, because like when Alexa goes to do hers, she'll click, because we have a set, because there is a setting, you probably have it now,
We do now,
where
yeah.
they'll click to purchase, and you have to put the password in.
You got a
So
password and
she'll come
emails,
over
like
and
all
be
kinds
like,
of stuff. You
yeah,
have to
she
go
comes
through,
over and is like, hey, can I get this? I need you to log in or whatever it is. Yeah, similar to that, pretty much. Yeah.
So that was a shocking moment when you're just like, they're like, hey, you gotta go on
Here's
this,
your
going
bill.
like that, yeah.
Well, because that at 5, whatever age it is, like, you're not going to think about, you know what I mean? You're just like, if you click it and it lets you do it, it
Right.
must have been
And
okay.
right, exactly.
You know what I mean? You're like,
That's
sweet.
exactly right.
Yeah.
100%. So yeah, I mean, it was a good learning experience for us as parents, and it was also a good learning experience for him. So now every time he's like, hey, can I? And so now we
Oh,
go and
yeah.
get those cards. You go to Walmart and you buy the
The
little
prepaid
gift cards.
stuff.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
that's all it's on there.
Nice.
But I had a question. I was thinking of some stuff this week. We're kind of on movies. It's not a bad deal. I've been listening to this new podcast, and they break down 80s and excuse me 90s movies. These guys are funny as heck.
Mhm.
There's a little bit of swearing in there and stuff like that, but I've been kind of hooked on it. Like it gets you. It's called the Confused Breakfast.
Yeah.
And it's just 3 dudes to just talk about movies. So they read the Rotten Tomatoes report and an IDBM. I didn't look up the IDBM, but I wanted to look up your favorite movie on that Skyscraper. And the funny thing is, it says it's a Die
It's not.
Hard. It's
Not
a
my
Die
favorite
Hard
movie. Terrible movie.
remake, all this kind of stuff. To let you know that Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 48% is all it got. So you are correct on it being not a
Trash?
great movie.
No, it's
Well,
trash. Straight up
dude,
trash. We talked about in the episode before, but Vinny said this movie, and I wasted like, I don't even
20
know,
minutes. You only wasted 20
probably
minutes on
my
it.
life that I never can get
I
back.
watched the whole thing, and I've only
Yeah,
watched it
I'm
once.
sorry.
But it was
Not
a
the best.
48%, and audiences gave it a 68%. So, I mean, you are correct on the movie situation on that Skyscraper.
Yeah, the probably only got that many because they didn't know.
Right.
They
And
just
Die
showed
Hard,
stuff on it.
which is the
Yeah.
movie that we feel like Skyscraper was based off of, it was a 94% from the critics and a 94% from audiences.
Yeah.
So
they bombed it.
But I just wrote down 2 more movies. Like, you liked World War Z with Brad Pitt, right? I mean, it
It's
was a
pretty good.
decent movie.
Yeah.
They gave it a 66% off of critics, and
Okay.
the audiences gave it 72%.
That's pretty good. That's
That's-
better. I mean, it's
it's not
it's a zombie movie. That's what's tough about that one, is there's like
true.
1,000 zombie movies. You know what I mean?
Now Braxton's movie, his favorite movie, Green Lantern. That was.
Dude. Oh man, don't even get me started on
I
his
mean, he's got the
movies.
posters up. He's got
Oh
Ryan
yeah,
Reynolds right
yeah,
above his
Ryan
bed.
Reynolds. Oh
He's
yeah.
got they got it got a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 45% audience number.
Dude,
So
Skyscraper did better than Green Lantern.
Skyscraper did better than
That's
Green
sad.
Lantern.
And they're both sad. Oh man,
So I wrote that down just to kind of
that's
do that.
funny.
But did you feel like any movies growing up, I guess movies, maybe TV shows, music, kind of helped you be who you are today? Do you think it was kind of set on back then? That was all like that was basically the only social media we had. Like we didn't have social media to keep up with everything. So you watched movies, you watched TV shows, and you listened to music. You know, we didn't know what actors were doing on their personal lives. We didn't know what singers were doing. We didn't know who they were shooting in, you know, strip clubs, and we didn't know all these athletes, you know, all the
All
trouble
the
like kind of
business,
behind the
everybody's
scenes, you know.
business out
Right.
on everything.
So I mean, like when you watched Die Hard, did you feel like that was something that's like, oh, dude, like being a detective would be something that you'd want to go into watching some of that kind of movies, watching some of the superhero stuff? Like, do you feel like some of that, any of that kind of stuff, even the TV shows, like, I mean, like we say Bill Cosby, you know, because the Cosby Show was on all the time and it was like a family friendly movie, you know, or TV show, stuff like that. But then now that we know all the stuff about Bill Cosby, it's kind of like you kind of question
Well,
his
they don't even air his stuff anymore.
right
He
because
got
he
that
was
whole
kind of
cancel
canceled.
culture. Oh
Right.
yeah, he's I
But
don't know. I don't think on movies and stuff. I think the thing is like for me, we really didn't get too much into movies until we were older. At least I didn't. You know what I mean? Like I think when we were younger, we just had like basic. Probably the movie I can remember the most of watching and thought it was the coolest thing ever was Superman, the Christopher
yes,
Reeves ones.
yes.
Like I remember living
Oh,
in Riverside and watching those movies, and that
and I feel
was
like
like
every kid wanted to be Superman.
yeah, that was the
He was
greatest movie
indestructible except
ever.
for some
Yeah,
little green rock. You know, everything
yeah,
else you could,
Kryptonite.
yeah, you can get rid of you could do anything and everything you wanted.
Yeah, but I think that's because at that time, like that was the the first superhero movie. I feel like you know what I
Yeah.
mean. I mean, you had like Batman. I think came around uh, like the. I don't even think there was a movie. I think it was like that series, but I don't remember watching it. Batman
No,
didn't come out
that
till
was in the
later, and he wasn't
60s.
even a superhero. He's just a rich dude with cool stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I
So
mean?
yeah. So what did you want to do? You want to be a rich dude and get cool stuff? I
No, I
felt that
didn't really. I
way.
wasn't into Batman. I was
Oh,
Superman, so I was like, I wanted to be like inconspicuous,
indestructible.
but then like nobody knew. But then like if some like, but then you couldn't get hurt. You know what I mean, or like that. But nobody knew because he was like a normal dude. You know, just put on his little suit jacket and his
And
glasses, and
glasses,
nobody
and
knew it was
we
Superman.
knew it was him.
You
I
know
know.
what I mean? But
But I
I
think
guess I don't think
like
I would say it shaped. It didn't shape me because I just
right.
don't know that. I don't know that like as you got older and we got into as I got older, I should say me as I got older and got into movies, I was kind of already going on a different path, I guess. Because like even like you said, sports stuff. Like I didn't have as I got like maybe in football as I got a little bit older, like junior senior year type stuff. Then there were certain players and stuff that were like really good and doing stuff. Because I remember what was the guy that played for the Broncos that did the Mile High Salute?
Was that
Antonio
Sharp?
Davis or something?
Oh,
No, it
Davis.
was
There was Davis.
Davis,
Yeah.
something Davis. I remember doing that in an end zone one time. Got a 15-yard penalty, but like I got a touchdown and turned around, did the Mile High Salute to coach, and he was just like, I mean, we were ahead by a bit, but I mean, I got in trouble for it, but it was
Right.
cool. Like he knew it, but it was like he was like, "All right, great job, you're ahead, good job, Hessey," but this is it. You know what I mean? And then
Right.
like even in sometimes it was cool. Like in high school, then they would I guess like the Superman did a thing because people they'd be like, "Oh, you're like Superman, just got to do it all,"
Right.
and that kind of. So that you're like, "Oh yeah, cool." But I don't. I like you said, sports stuff wasn't such a huge. It was huge, but you only got to watch it once. You had replays and all that stuff, but you couldn't just then go and whip open your phone and look at all their business
Right.
all
Right.
over social media and stuff like that within minutes of it happening and replays of it on your phone from somebody's camera that was 6 rows away.
Right.
It's just so fast to get in everybody's business. And then people just throw it out there. You got your fake social stuff where everybody just acts like it's all fine and dandy. But then you also got the opposite where everybody just puts all their business out there, and then you're like, some stuff you should keep to yourself.
I agree.
But then they get mad, especially celebrities. Don't get well. Then this is the world you live in. So if you're gonna throw it out there, your dirty laundry, like it's gonna get picked up by
And I
other
think that's what
people.
makes our generation a little bit different than like our kids' generation. Your daughter's a little younger. I got some older ones, but it's kind of those things like when we were growing up and we watched, like you said, you were watching the football players that you like you watched him for his athletic ability
Yeah,
and you could see you're like, he had to work hard to get to that point. So I have
oh
to
yeah,
work hard. If I want to be a football player, I was into tennis, so I had like Andre Agassi, Pete Sampras, stuff like that. I knew nothing about them. I
right,
didn't know who they were married to. I didn't know how many kids they had. I just watched them perform and
yeah,
knew that if I wanted to perform at that level, then you had to go to practice. You had to put in 110%. And same thing with guys that did like probably Tony Hawk's and any of the BMX guys. I wasn't into BMX, so I couldn't name any. But
I
if
think
they
Tony
wanted to
Hawk was a
do
skateboarder.
well, yeah. But then I'm saying also like you had like when we were doing jumps,
Oh
some
yeah,
kids in our neighborhood would be like, oh, this is like
yeah. I got
whatever,
this red line, GT red line, and it's
right?
such and such edition, and it's
So
some
and so and so
Bob
rides it
Deirdrick
in
or
his.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, stuff like that. So I mean, it was
yeah,
stuff that we watched, and then we went out and tried to perform or, imitate that kind of situation. And I feel like with the guys that our kids now are just like, oh, look at this person. They're famous because they did YouTube, TikTok,
yeah. Well,
Instagram.
and we didn't have phones. They had them, but
No,
it
it's
ain't
true.
like you didn't have like I couldn't just go and watch this jump and then be like, I'm gonna do this jump and just keep
Dude, the
replaying it
internet
on my
didn't come out
phone.
till we were in high school.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I mean, it was just something that I was thinking about. Like, you are very athletic. You are committed to working out, you're committed to your nutrition, you're committed to putting in that time and effort to do what you love, you know.
Yeah,
And it's the same with like anybody else that's trying to, our age, I would imagine, that's still, competing in whatever they're competing in, whether it's football, baseball, BMX, skateboarding, stuff like that. Like they got to put in the time. Anybody doing that. And I feel like there's just some stuff where it's like I can watch it all I want on TV, and then I'm not going to go out there on not TV, but social media and all this kind of stuff, and go out and
yeah,
feel like I can do a half pipe 360, whatever,
right.
without putting in the time.
Well, I think too, like I guess like what makes me is just like as I guess as I've gotten older, more, at the beginning, it's like your whole aspect is watching somebody and then doing it. But as I've gotten older, I think, and especially more like religious and stuff, like, you know, I am me in Christ. As I got older, as I'm getting older, I should say. So it's like through Him, I feel like is where I'm at now because of the things like you said, and it's just the things that God puts in your life. It could be movies, shows, people that you look up to, mistakes that you make throughout your whole life. You know what I mean? Like we all do that. But that's I think what makes you those kind of things. So like when I was younger, I was skinny, tiny, little scrawny dude. And so there was like hard times of growing up where it's like bigger dudes picking on you or it's just you look at these other guys like you're saying and they work hard and this, that, and the other. And so that path that God has put me on has led me to where I'm at now. Has it always been great and fine and dandy? No. I've always been into the sports. I think I was terrible at them. Remember, like mom and them wrote me a letter or something that said like they didn't think I would amount to anything in during basketball or something. I don't know. They'll probably say something that wasn't. But
We
I
never wrote
remember
that.
I
I don't
remember
know what
some
you're
letter. It
talking
was like
about.
you basically it came out and said, well, you were pretty terrible at junior jazz, and we didn't think you would like pursue
Right.
sports.
Yeah,
And
like
so
when your
then
freshman football coach told you to take the piano off your back because you were so
yeah,
slow.
because and that was just like a growth plate in my heels and all that stuff. So it was just like a thing, like I couldn't run, whatever. But it was that, yeah. And so I was like, all right, well then I'm just gonna get faster. And so I
Right.
think then like, and that had nothing to do with me. I think that is like as I look at it now as a Christian is definitely God's work, and it is now that I'm able to do the things I do through Him because some of the stuff, just that mindset of the working out, like you said, why do I do that? You know what? Why do I? You know what I mean? And it's just like because I have that ability. You know, God has gifted me with that ability to I apparently just get in the suck and just put myself through pain, daily. But I think it's just a progression. I don't know if I could ever say like I don't know why I have other than that's just the path that I'm going on.
Right.
I don't know why I have that determination. And I mean, of course I love like with Alexa being able to wrestle with her or when she wants to go out and run around and kick the soccer ball or go for a hike or if I'm going to go, whatever she wants to do, like we get wrestling around in there. And I mean, that she's getting to be big. She's a strong kid doing ballet and all that stuff. You better be ready. Like mom won't even wrestle with her anymore because she hurts her.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I guess that's what, that's where I'm at now with that. So that's kind of the what makes me me, I suppose.
That's good.
That's where the
I
drive comes from, I guess.
and I got similar. I have similar drive. I don't have as much drive, but I feel the same way. Like if you can maintain working out. Now, I don't work out as much as you do, and I'm not as strict on my nutrition as I should be, and I know that, which is a good thing that I know it. I think. I just need to tell myself like I find more excuses to not buckle down on
Mm.
sticking with the nutrition. It's kind of like there are some people. I've got really good friends that come to the 6 o'clock in the morning class, and they're just like, I'm here to work out so that I can, indulge in zingers and nachos or whatever it is.
Get them
But
donut
and
jams.
and and donut gems, yeah, and 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 I'm not saying I'm right there, but it's close to that. It's kind of like I'm still able to do, like you said, I can go out and play baseball today and not be all winded and be like, all right, dude, I'm done, and just be done for the day, which is nice. Um, it would be nicer if I was a little more strict on it. And yeah, so sometimes my priorities, I bounce them around in my own head and I justify why I do work out as hard as I do, or don't work out as hard as I do. Um, I got to tell myself I'm old, my back hurts, whatever like that. But like you've told me, it's like, are you working on your core? Yeah, you guys just saw my core if you watched the YouTube video.
he showed he
But
showed the core off about 14 minutes ago.
yeah, yeah, about 8.5 months pregnant look on
Yeah.
that. But it's just one of those things where it's like I look at the stuff that we did as kids. Like we played outside, we watched. I won't say heroes, but we had prominent athletes. We had prominent people when they used to put them on the news that were, even the smart people. Like they
Mm.
would put on the news, and presidents and scientists and all that kind of stuff that you were kind of like you saw that part of it that you wanted to be. And I feel like a lot of the
Actual
stuff,
actual role models, good role
but
models.
I mean, there's good role models now, but there's so much information on their backstory, and it may
Well,
be a minute
yeah.
problem, but social media blows it up to be a huge problem.
Well, I think too. Also, if you go in, like, there's a lot of I think role models and stuff like that. even in sports, but they're not the ones that are in. So they're not the ones out on social media. They're not the one on the news.
It's
I
true.
feel like those ones all get pushed back because it's all as the world sits right now. It's all about
Right, they're not good enough because
just
they don't have a big
they're not in
social
the
media
yeah
presence.
not yeah they don't have a huge social media. They're not getting in the news for negative stuff.
Right.
So they get what news coverage they do get, and because of something good they did isn't. It's just where society's at right now. Everybody likes to see. I don't want to say failures, but they like to see
Oh,
like
dude.
these people high up making mistakes, and they feast off of it. And it's sad, but it's kind of
Well,
how it works. It seems where it kind of up and down, it changes and stuff, and it's
for a
just kind
lot
of
of
what you got to look for.
for a couple years, I've thought, you know what, it'd be nice if somebody did a news channel. Not your. I mean, like here we have Channel 2 News or Channel 5 or whatever it is. You have the same thing. You know, uh, it would be nice. And I know it would never make it, and that's the problem. Is if you had a news station that just did like positive stuff.
Yeah,
Teachers do this for kids, or cops do this for kids, or firemen do this for kids, or let's just say UPS driver, does something in that day that was something nice for an old lady, or some
yeah,
kids that were having trouble or whatever like that. Like those are uplifting, positive
oh
news
yeah,
stories. Anything that's uplifting, positive. Like mom.
yeah,
I mean, she's an uplifting, positive person all the time.
oh yeah.
So I mean, she does stuff that just even while she's at work, she helps out a ton of people that it could have made their day. It could have made them go on to do something great, for like
Somebody else, like a pay it
for
forward
somebody else.
type
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
like a pay it
if you're,
forward thing.
and then I feel like you're that way too. Like when I listen to you, or like with your UPS people, like that's why you're, I guess you could say your customers, your
Right. That was the thing I
delivery
had
people.
written down
Like
on here
you
too.
definitely you bring a good aura to them. Like you're uplifting and stuff like that, and you can hear it. Like when I'm on the phone with you and you're talking to those people, or they like genuinely are saying hi to you and like, hey, like, and I get like UPS wants you running in and running out type thing. But even that 15, 20 seconds or whatever, 30 seconds that you take uh, per stop, or like with certain people, customers, I guess you'd say your
Yeah,
customers.
I call them customers. Yeah.
Yeah, or you take the time to call them or meet them somewhere, or they'll come, and then they even come out of their way to meet you somewhere to help, so you don't got to drive up some dirt road for 3 miles, 4-wheel drive in your truck,
Right.
because they appreciate what you do. And so
And the
I
same,
think that's a cool thing
you
too.
have it too, and I think that's something that we have learned. And I had a question on here that um I was going
All
to
right,
ask you what.
hold up one sec. uh Hold on. Okay,
Is it sponsor time?
so it's sponsor time.
It's
All right,
sponsor time. Woo!
let's take a second.
Sponsor time.
Let's take a second and just think about uh like your just take a second and just think about like your loved ones, right? Think
Okay.
about uh what you would do for your loved ones, like or just friends, family, anything like that. uh like you would sacrifice a lot, if not,
Okay.
especially like family, you would sacrifice uh most anything for your family. So but just think that in your mind, and then what you would be willing to do for that. And on that, so we have a buddy, a friend of mine, a business guy, Blake Brandenburg, who is he does your CCWs, concealed carry weapons, pistol permit stuff. So he does your CCW, basic pistol, professional protection inside, and professional protection outside the home classes. Green Dragon Defense is his company. Green Dragon Defense will get you a concealed carry permit, whether it's a new or a renewal. You'll do both. He also does learn and understand the laws that applicable to the state of Nevada in defending yourself and your family. Receive quality instruction on personal protection, both inside and outside of your home. learn legal ramifications, including responding to law enforcement after the self-defense situation. So contact Blake Brandenburg, phenomenal guy. I've been on the fire department a long time with him. He knows his stuff. He's the owner and instructor of Green Dragon Defense, 8 years U.S. Army veteran with 3 years of combat experience. Rates vary, and groups of 10 or more receive a discount. So give him a call or text. His number is 775-546-5192. And that's Green Dragon Defense. That's Blake Brandenburg. Number 775-546-5192. All right, we're back.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, so they yeah. Okay, what were we talking about?
So the question I had for you
had a question.
Was, what do you think you're good at? Because we were just talking, like you were saying, my customer service and stuff like that. So when I thought of this question, that was my answer, was my customer service and personability. I don't know how you
so
say
I'm good
that.
at sled drags and pound and barge. Boom.
I got muscles and I got the hammer down, baby.
That's what I've been told, anyways.
That's what you put that on your resume.
Yeah.
Write that in your
fine
book.
Print. Fine print. Oh.
Well, that's good. I was going to ask you that question, and then I was going to let you answer it, and then we ended up answering my question before I asked it. So, but yeah, I feel like my customer service and stuff like that.
I think you're definitely a people person.
A people person. Thank you.
Yeah, you're a people person, and that's where I think like you just have that person. I think that's what helps you in your 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. classes too. Is like you got to have that certain personality, especially for anything. I feel like in the morning, most people are not morning people, right. Especially if they're going to come in. You're coming in to work out.
Yeah,
I mean, I know people that like show up at 8:00. Their job starting at 8, because with where I work, we start at 6, and I will get to their job, and they're like getting there, and it's 8 a.m, and they still seem like they're not really in the mood. You know what I mean?
Right.
And for whatever reason, I'm not going to, but I think I don't, one of my traits, I guess, would be, is that what you're asking? What was the question? Do you say what?
What are you good at?
Well, I think
what do you feel you're good at?
Probably, I feel like I'm good at not letting other people dictate how I feel.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like, that's just what we were talking about there. So it's like if they're down and out or whatever, like I'm still like, hey, good morning. How are you doing? Hi. Or whatever.
Right.
And sometimes they'll say hi, sometimes they don't, whatever. And I'll just carry on. And so I don't let it bother me. I think if I was to say I don't know, good at stuff.
Can I tell you one that I think you're good at?
Sure.
I think you're good with service. Whether it's your church, a fire department, friends, anybody around you knows that you are you're a helping person. Like you are, like they can count on you. Like you're very responsible is not the word I'm looking for. I'm just trying to come up with this, like reliable. Sorry. You are a reliable person on that aspect, and I'm pretty proud to say that you're my brother for that. So,
hey, thanks, man.
So that's one of my deals.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, definitely. God built me for service for sure. I think because
I don't just mean physical.
No, but it's both. Like
it is
physical labor, but also the service of. I don't really think it's definitely a blessing for sure too, because I feel like I'm good at that, as in like God bless me in that way, is to serve. So I may not, I'm not going to get up and preach. I'm not the best at like memorizing scripture or reading a book and like referencing it back. So whether it would be like if I was It wouldn't even have to be the Bible, but if I was to read something else and try to like do something of that sort, like I can, it's a struggle. But like if you were like, hey, you need to come over, let's try to figure out there's something making a clicking noise in my trailer, or my car's doing this, or my breaker keeps popping, or like if it's something like we got to get in there and dig around and physically do something and figure it out. I feel like I'm pretty like I've had buddies all the time like, hey, you think we could do this? I'm like 95% sure we could get it done.
Right.
Have I ever done it? No. Have I ever ripped a shower pan out and retiled a shower, bottom of a shower, and put a pan in? No. But I was like, I have never done it, but I'm pretty sure I could do it.
Right.
So that part of it, I'll just jump head in first, like for service.
Yeah, you definitely don't back away from a challenge.
No,
that is for sure.
No. And then when I get done with it, I'm like, I'll never do that again, or something. Depending on what it is. I'm like, that's
I got that done. The next person asks me, be like, look, I've done it.
You better just hire somebody.
Hire somebody else out.
Because this sucks.
I know my limitations.
Yeah. I found it out, the hard way. But I think that's also like yours. And I've told people about that before because it does make me proud of what you've started out. Like you didn't used to work out. I mean, it looked like you ate babies there for a while.
I got that.
And when
picture.
I say that, he's big. He was big. He's very big, like double chin, like that whole thing. But it's like you just didn't have it. And it wasn't like Vinny Tuck jokes about like me being a sponsor. He needed one. He needed an intervention because he was getting fat as shit, dude. It was, and it ain't good. That's definitely not good for you because you're what 5'9", 5'10".
Okay, I think it's 5'10". I don't know.
Okay, so 5'10", and you were what
215, yeah.
215 pounds, like
no muscle. It was nothing. I didn't work out at all.
No. Yeah,
asthma. Like, I was breathing heavy all the time, and it was great because once we started working out, and got in somewhat of shape, the breathing with my asthma and stuff like that got better. And I thought, oh my, I put on a 15-pound weight vest, and I go, this is how big I was. Yeah. I was carrying this much weight. I could breathe better then, but I just thought it was normal. You just think it's normal because it just comes in.
Going around Walmart wheezing, dressed in camo, just wheezing, going up the peanut butter aisle, dude, looking for zingers.
Dude, I've never actually bought zingers or donuts at Walmart.
I should have took the elevator.
Like the hostess.
No,
stuff.
And you shouldn't be.
You buy them at the gas station. You don't buy them
that's where you should be getting them. Yeah, that's you should. If you're going into Walmart and it's on your shopping list, you're gonna need another intervention.
You're gonna need a second cart.
Yeah. Oh gosh. But dude, it's just. But yeah, I mean, I think, and Mom's got that great attitude, and I feel like we all kind of,
I do feel that same way.
One.
Kevin does too. I mean, he helps a lot of people.
He's got a good attitude towards it too. But I think it's just because that way, and it's just a gift. It's one of those gifts that you were given, and like I say, I truly believe it. And God has set the path and has given us the opportunities to do it. And I think as we get older, I don't want to say, I guess you could say wiser too, but as we progress in our life, you get smarter, and you see those abilities that he's given us, and you're able to kind of use it for the good and not for yourself. Because, I mean, I'm not going to say there was a time, and I'm not saying I'm not selfish now, but there was a time where it was bad. Like I was all about me, you know what I mean? And that's even having a family. And I think that with the stuff that's happened, for sure, like in my life has brought me to this point, and to be less selfish is most certainly a way to go. And I think that comes back around like what you were talking about with the, with the heroes and the social media stuff and all that stuff. Like a lot of the stuff that you see is very selfish. It's all about them. It's all about everything is based right now is a very self-centered world of how many followers can you get, how many likes, how many views, how many, you know what I mean? And I think that there's a time and a place for it. Like I would love to get tons of likes and views and stuff for this, but it's
but we're not going to change who we are.
It also doesn't define me. But I just hope that I love hearing when people comment or send us, emails or whatever it may be, even people that we just know here and like hit me up on Bookface or whatever, and they're like, they relate. Like,
Relate.
oh man, dude, I remember doing this as a kid, or I remember that, or I remember, this, that, or the other. And it's just like, okay, that's cool. I love hearing that stuff. We're like, that's what makes this fun. The first and foremost thing, which is great, is we have been blessed and fortunate enough that we can do what we're doing right now.
Exactly.
Like, it costs us money. We have the money that we can pay for this. It's basically we're just paying for a hobby. And I love getting on here with you and just talking and laughing it up and carrying on. And so we're blessed to be able to do this part of it. And then I'm just hoping it bless other people in their lives to that kind of can relate and just listen to it and be like, dude, these guys are idiots, but so are
100%.
we. So am I. Or I love that. Or I used to do this. Or like just lighten up. Love each other. God fearing, and like make the world better. Just like you said, just look at nice things, happy things, fun things. You know what I mean? Like,
The
get out of the
positives.
negative, the
The
positives. Get out of the negative, being
100%.
positive, and that'll you can see it, and you're super good at that. And that's what I was saying. Like, I think you get a lot of people going to your class and your gym and just different stuff like that because of the way that you are. So that's why when you left that route, people missed it. They don't
Right.
miss because they didn't miss UPS. They'll get another driver that comes and drops packages off. They
Right.
missed your aura, you. But yeah.
Oh,
Well,
thanks.
another thing too, we had a comment. Let's do this before we got to wrap up. But
Yeah.
I got 3 questions. I think I did 3. Wait, I might only got 2.
That's okay. I got 4.
Oh, see, perfect, worked out. All right. So you want to do one like bam, bam, back and forth, or you want to get mine 2 out of the way and then you go 3?
Well, we
We
don't have
got
to
to do
do. We can
4.
do 2 and 2. I mean, it's just
All
rapid
right.
fire questions. It doesn't have to
Let's
be
do
3.
2.
Let's see what you got.
All right. My
Hit
first
me.
one. If you could have hair,
Oh shit.
and I'm not saying on your body because we
I
know that's
understand what you're
against
saying.
us.
I understand what you're saying. Right here.
If you could,
Right here. On
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. So if you could have hair, would you do it?
Was
Or
I
say, I
bald?
guess the question: could you have if you could have hair?
No.
You'd stay with bald.
I'd stay bald.
Okay.
100%. I think it's for me. It's me. That's my personality. That's I embraced it. A long time ago, and like if I'd never been bald and I shaved my head to let it grow back, it probably would have went back and forth several times throughout my life. But I'm bald, and it's
But you are
uh,
now. But I'm saying if you could have, like, if you could have hair, like you would have never lost it. Would you want to just keep it?
I wouldn't
Like,
know
would
any
you have
different,
wanted to
so
have
I would
kept
just
it?
have
I
hair.
see.
I would have hair. Like if I
But
never
so like,
lost it,
but you got people that have hair that shave their head. You know what I mean?
yeah, I would never have
Like
done
you
that.
look like The Rock. He could grow hair.
Can he?
Yeah. Have you seen like when you? It's funny because I was thinking about this. This is what I watched Rundown. That he did like 10 years
Yeah, but
ago or
he was
whatever it was.
losing it. He's got
No,
to. I
he's got
mean,
dude. He's like Samoan or Tongan or something. I don't even know if
are you saying
they're
they don't
ever
go
bald.
bald?
I don't think so. Maybe if we got any Samoan or Tongans or island,
I if
like
I
let's hear it.
never lost my hair, if I was not going bald, yes, I would have hair right now. But I
Would it be
wouldn't know any
long or
different.
short?
It would be a normal hair. I would not have long hair, no.
Okay, all right. I think that's perfect. I like
What
it. My
about
next
you?
one. I'm pretty sure that I would shave my head.
If you were able to have full head of hair and
Yeah,
never lost any of your hair,
even when I had hair before, I always kept it short. You know what I mean? Like I grew a mullet one time when I went long hair.
yeah,
Remember, I've
yeah, you
never
did.
grown my hair long.
I
I mean,
tried
I
to
had
grow
a
my hair long.
business
It's
in the
like
front, party in the
party in
back.
the
That was
back.
all I
Yeah,
ever did.
I tried to go with the hippie thing in my high school
Yeah,
years, but
Kevin was the same way. Remember, Kevin grew it out, permed it, and then
man, he
I think one
permed
of
it.
my girlfriends picked it out one time. He just had this like afro. you guys have
It-
that thicker hair, but
I
I
don't
never
think
grew
I
mine
I,
out. And
I
so,
would have never shaved my head if I didn't have to.
yeah, I always kept it tight. I don't know. I now like
But
people
now
see a
they make
picture
all
of me
that stuff where you
bald.
can do hair plugs and all that kind of stuff. Like I could
Yeah,
have
dude, that
hair if I
stuff.
paid the
Yeah,
money to do
but
it.
it looks like you got corn planted on your head.
I still
It's
wouldn't
all
do it.
rose. No.
If they came out today and said, "Look, for $5,000, you'll have all your hair back. It'll be normal. It won't look weird. It'll look all normal stuff." I still wouldn't do it.
No, me neither. Dude, so Lee broke it down one time and was like, and this is years ago, and I
Whatever.
saved like $15,000 in my life already just by not having to do like shampoo, haircuts, conditioner, none of that
Rogaine.
stuff. Yeah, dude, not having to do any like monthly get a haircut. Like I
yeah.
did a Dollar Shave Club, and shout out Dollar Shave Club sponsor. We need one because
I've
I
never
love
done
them
the
things.
Dollar Shave Club.
Dude, it's the best. All right, so next I got to go to the next.
All right, go on.
So what season would you want always?
Spring.
Huh. Okay.
Because at the
And-
first of spring, it's cold enough to go coyote hunting. At the end of spring, it's warm enough to wear shorts.
Well, but spring starts in like April something, right?
Okay.
That's too warm.
Oh,
All right.
whatever.
No,
we still get a
it's
bounty.
yours.
We get a
It's
bounty.
yours.
We got thermal. We
Yeah,
can go
it's
hunting
yours.
at night.
Thermals. Yep, that's right.
But
I
everything's
feel
growing.
like I would do winter.
You would do winter all the
I
time.
think so. Yeah, I feel like
All
I
the
could do
time.
that.
12
Yeah.
months.
12 months
I mean,
of winter, boys.
People
Nevada
can
winter.
do it. They live in Alaska. But they,
I want Nevada winter.
Well,
Nevada winter. So it's like sometimes you might get a 60-degree day in Nevada winter. And then at nighttime it gets down. Sometimes it's
but
normal,
some of us
30
tan.
degrees. Sometimes
Some
it's,
of us
yeah,
tan.
I don't need that in my life,
You-
okay?
'Cause
Melanoma's
you don't
no
tan.
joke. Yeah. But you know what I do is I can put more layers on. Spring, I effed on spring. Like I thought maybe spring. I was like, ooh, spring might be a good one too. But I could lean towards that one. You might be able to convince me to spring, but wintertime, summer, no. I ain't doing it.
I think summers are just kind of torture.
I can't.
I think you
I can
get
only take
through
so
summer.
many layers off. I can't peel my
Yeah.
skin off. I'll be running around in my. I'll be like
I
that
mean,
dude in your sauna, just running around in my freaking Speedos
Summer's
all the
good
time.
for like a few days every now and then, not
for
in a
floating around
row.
at the lake.
Right, like when you want to go do something like that.
Pool party. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. All right, I was just wondering on that. That's good. That's a spring. I kind of thought maybe you'd go that route. So that's good.
Because the problem with fall is everything starts to die and the leaves are falling, and it's just like the grass doesn't look good. It's all in your
fall
face.
Trash. There's like a split second when it's like the leaves change and all that stuff, and then it just goes to shit.
That's it.
So, all right, before you ask my questions, check this.
All right, let's see. You got a new hat. We got a new hat for Davis Vending. Existed
guys.
since 2023.
That's right. They just
Davis Vending.
Davis Vending.
If you guys want more
Shout out.
information on Davis
Shout out,
Vending,
bro.
email at flappingyourgums@yahoo.com, and you can get some more information on Davis Vending.
Davis Vending. Look out for it. It's about
We're
to be
not going to tell
booming.
you how to contact him. We're not going to tell you how to get in trouble because he's not an actual sponsor yet.
Not yet. We're just giving a little shout out. He knows Davis. All right. What's yours?
Man,
two of them. You got two of them.
I got two of them. Okay,
two
so
of them. We'll wrap this up.
What is your death row meal?
Oof. Well,
now this is death row.
That's
death row.
So mine were a lot. Man, to go for mine, which
I
is
understand.
if you could have hair or what season, then we go to death. Sorry, the listeners. I hated this to be at the end.
It's all right.
Here.
I'll bring it back up.
So death row meal. I feel like I should probably just like smash down some sushi. Just because it's like a death row meal, so I can get like I don't want like I'm gonna do a prime rib or some like Wagyu steak or something. Like
because you can. You want to do something you're gonna enjoy.
Yeah, and I want something like when I say it, they're like, okay, you can. What do you want? And I'm just gonna rifle off like 15 rolls. And so they just got to make all kinds of different stuff, and then like you get mussels, probably get some oysters and stuff with it. like all the sides. But that's
So
what
you
I'd probably
can
go
die
for.
with a heart on? Like, what the
Just
hell?
raging, dude. Just dude, because people are watching, and then because if you're going on, if you got a whatever it is, the intravenous or whatever they do, they do that, so they open up the curtains,
Yeah, yeah.
and there you're laying there, just a rut. Just they're like, oh my, yeah, watch out, 6 to midnight.
I mean, like, I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, so, like, you are very conscious of what you eat, your your grams of fat and proteins and stuff like that. So, I thought maybe you'd go a little bit more like zingers, that kind of thing. I already eat the zingers and the donut
Yeah.
gem, so it's kind of like it's
So
like
you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a salad.
no. I'll just have a salad.
That
Can you
sounds
guys
solid.
put
Can I get
some
some light
kind
Italian
light
and a
light
Bud Light?
ranch, some
Uh.
But I mean, I eat anything anyway, so
Yeah,
for me, I was kind of like, what would I get that? I mean, I never even thought of sushi. I was thinking steak,
yeah.
potatoes,
I
that kind
think
of
it's
stuff.
in there.
So that's when I went there. My next question, let's just go with one of these. We already asked what makes you you. So, uh, oh, dude, this was a hard one for me because I thought of it and I thought I can't figure it out. Invent something. What would you invent? Now, here's the problem I had with the invent. If we talk about it on our podcast, somebody hears it, they invent it, we get screwed. But
Yeah. Well, can it be what's already been invented, like you wish you would have invented, or if it's something if I could invent it? That's the question. Like I have to try to come up with something that I would want to invent.
I was thinking come up with something you want to invent. I mean, we don't necessarily have to say exactly what it is, but what field? Like what field with our knowledge? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we'd like to say, "Oh, I want to invent the iPhone." I'm not smart enough to invent the iPhone.
Well,
You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
think the
Like,
guy that invented the iPhone was smart enough. He just came up with the idea. So
true,
it's like
that's
for
true.
us, we would just come up with the idea and then let smart people figure it out.
And we'd find the smart people to figure out how to do it.
Correct.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
It's just
Exactly right.
it's like there's probably a few stuff that I'm not going to say a few. There's probably a lot of stuff that has been done by a smart person and they figured it out on their own,
Right.
in that sense of it. But I feel like a lot of stuff the idea was there and then they had to
They
get the
had a
right people in
they,
place
okay. Okay.
to build
So
on
let's
that.
go with what if you could invent something like what would you work for? Like would it be like for me I've got like a game idea. Like you said, it's just an idea. I can't program anything.
Right.
Would you go into like a fitness
I
situation? Would you
think,
go into a car
dude, if I
situation?
was if I was going off the top of my head, if I was going for something that would uh, benefit a lot of people, and of course, it would just make me a buttload of money.
Of
Is
course.
if you could die, if I could get a weight loss drug.
Like Fen.
Yeah, not one that just causes holes in your heart and if you could find like a natural and just like something that would just who knows suppress your food intake, but still like you would want to eat, but that like helps you on your I don't know. It would be something
Something
like
to
that
take you back to your teens.
or
Something to take your
something.
metabolism stuff back to your
Yeah,
teens.
yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly. Or I think I would do something. Um, I would almost want to do something like robotic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Something that would
Well, you
be
got to think
something of
about the
that
future
source.
because
Because
that's
yeah,
the way we're
especially now
moving,
like
right?
this AI stuff. So I want a robot that AI could go into, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be like a robot like you think like Terminator robot type thing. Not like that. I'm just saying like something that even if it was like a universal, right? So doesn't necessarily still like for instance have you seen those new rollers that they roll down in them ditches, like when they're digging out, putting in water lines, pipes and
No.
stuff. Dude,
Mm-mm.
they're remote control. They're little compactors that have 2 wheels or 2 metal, just like a steamroller.
Okay.
You know, the big rollers that they use when they're rolling like pavement
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Except it's except it's smaller, like this narrow, 2.5 feet wide. Say it's got
Okay.
the metal rollers on it, and the
Okay.
dude's got a controller that hangs on his neck, and he drives it around. So the loader just drops it in the trench, and he just drives this thing up and down the trench and packs it down.
Well, that's safety because then the
Yeah,
ditch doesn't
tent falls
collapse
in, whatever, and
on a
he's just
person,
sitting up
right?
there driving this thing around.
Perfect.
Yeah, so something like that, I would want something that you could put AI into or whatever, and it'd be like almost like a Bobcat. You know, you could go up and like just change the parts,
Right.
but it'd be something like that, something like just super. So if you're at your house doing stuff and you're like, hey, I need this. I don't got time to do the lawn or whatever. And then that thing just goes out there, hooks up to an attachment and mows the lawn. But then you could have it come around and be like, hey, I need you to go. It doesn't have to look like a person. It could be on
So you
like
get
little
an AI
tracks.
butler.
And basically, yeah, but it does all the stuff for you. It can think through it. Or even like if it can't get down underneath something, underneath your car or something, you could be like, hey, whatever you want to name it, Mongoid, hand me a 10 millimeter wrench. They hand you a wrench. Or you're like, hey, I'm trying to get the compression on a 7.3 diesel engine. And then it tells you what pressure you got to put on it, and this, that, and the other.
So a cross between like Siri and hands.
Correct.
Basically
Yep.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yeah,
At
no,
the
that's
gym. Spotter.
see,
Hey, working
yeah.
out.
And like you said, that's the way our civilization is going. Like we
Yeah.
are moving to a lot of robotics. So you would want to maybe do an invention that is going to progress. You don't want to think kind of in the past it's obsolete. Like for me though,
it could even keep going into where it is eventually is like a person side.
and I know we have a lot of hunting games out there. There's a ton of hunting games on Xbox and stuff like that. But where like you brought coyote hunting into my life, and it's fun. It's passionate. It's something you have to be passionate about because it's not like there's not really a whole lot of reward in it. You know, like you can't hang it on your wall and be like, look at this, you know,
Look at this big old
14-pound
trophy.
coyote. Yeah, it's not like a big elk or anything like that. But
Look at the rack on this one.
But little Kev and I have talked about it, and it's one of those things where it's like there is so much that actually goes into it. You know, you have your calls, you have your guns, you have your scopes, you have what rigs you take, how quiet they are, where you can see them. You know, you're the coyote whisperer. You got to hide all your stuff and do all that kind of stuff when we're out hunting and stuff. And I think there's ways to move up from that. And I thought, why not just build a game kind of to that? Because there's a lot of people in the city that don't, they may not know about coyote hunting. They hear it from like this podcast or, some other podcast, or they hear somebody that went out and did it. It was like, man, that's awesome. I live in LA. It's like, I'm not going to drive, 6 hours out into the Nevada desert from California to go coyote hunting and that kind of thing. So I've thought about how to bring that kind of experience, but it's one of those things where it's an idea. Like you'd have to take it to somebody and be like, okay, I can start with just a whatever side by side. We won't say any names right now because I don't know who's up and who's down or what I'll ever have. But you start with one, it's like, okay, that was good, but I've made this much money off of, hides, or like in Utah, you can get a bounty on the coyotes and stuff like that. So it's like I'm gonna upgrade to, whatever side by side and that kind of stuff.
Gun scope side by side.
Yeah, gun scope side by side.
And
Calls.
on like a game like
Don't forget
that,
your calls.
Yeah. And then or like you have to set up your spots, check the wind, set up where you're setting.
Oh yeah. And if
Yeah,
you don't
that'd be
set up in the
cool.
right spot, or if you're like walking back from a spot and you shoot a rabbit, say there's a rabbit there, and then up in the top right corner, it's like, oh, there was a coyote that you just scared off, dumbass.
Missed one, shows it running off.
Because you shot a fucking rabbit,
Oh yeah.
But
you're all great.
it's like,
I knew it.
You're walking to the site, you're like, oh, rabbit, goon. It's like,
oh yeah,
now you're standing.
You're so used to it. You're like, oh, dang it. Or
So
you're walking to the site and the coyote just goes running off.
There's
been
that
there.
too.
Come up over a hill and be like, oh,
Spook one up.
there
Yeah.
it goes. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, I should have set up 100 yards
So
back.
I don't know. That was something that
That's cool.
I have some other questions on here that we can do next week. So
Yeah, we'll
this
save
was,
'em.
dude, this was our longest podcast.
It's a long one, guys. Thanks
this
for
has been
sticking it out
great.
with us. Yeah, it was good. We had some stuff on there. Hopefully
We got heavy. We got some heavy.
we got deep. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I did. I love doing it. So like we say on the other episodes, hey, just keep liking, telling your friends, telling everybody you know. Let's keep this thing rolling. And then
We appreciate all the listeners. I really do.
too. The stories, we appreciate listeners. So give us some feedback. Hit us up. Let us know. Thanks for joining us on this episode, and we will get you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.